Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Well, all right.
Here we are. Yeah.
You were just going nuts on Twitter about your show. Tell me about your show.
Oh God. So it was well, first of all, I thought I had the COVID this week. Like I genuinely thought that I had
shit.
it. So I got the test and I don't. I have a cold, it turns out. And it turns I
What
am
was the
just
turnaround time on the test?
a day, less than
Okay.
a day. It took a day for me to get Kaiser to do it. Like I had to call Kaiser, and then I had to schedule a phone doctor appointment, and then they scheduled it for the next morning, and by the following morning I had the results. So, and it was a swab of throat and nose.
Okay.
And it was done through the car, and it was a drive up at Kaiser over in I think Panorama City. And so incredibly efficient, and I didn't have it, which is awesome. But but after the test I'm like, what'll happen when I die? And because that's where I go. I think immediately. I was so brave. What will happen when I die to Andy Ashcraft? Well, it turns out he will be fine. And then the next thought was, what about my album? Will they cull together a bunch of Zoom sets? Which is the correct order of those things to be thinking of.
Barely.
And by the way, everyone will be fine. So we're if and when.
Yeah, we will come up with a tribute album.
Right.
Jackie's last bits. That's what
right. We got plenty, and now we have good video. So so Chris Titus has got this studio. It is very sweet, and like
explain the whole process. You drive to his house.
And the thing is it's not. It must be next to his house because he's got.
So he has property.
So he must either that or because it's this studio that's I don't actually know if this was the original thing that he was doing it in or this is a new studio.
Is it like an old horse stall, or is it a barn that he converted or something?
It's I think there's some old costumes in the attic. No, this is a full-on studio that is in North Hollywood. So it's 2 stories. There's seating for there's pre-COVID and post-COVID, it'll seat 45, 50 people. There is a 3-camera setup. There's an upstairs that has 2 offices and a giant editing bay that overlooks the stage and everything. Right. And then there's sort of a foyer, and there's a couple of single-seater toilets, and I mean the thing is it's a production house. It's
Did he
beautiful.
Commission it? Did he design it, or did he just
I wish I knew.
Or is he renting it?
I don't know. I don't know how much it looks expensive, so I don't know. I think he's fine. I think he had a sitcom for almost 5 years.
Right.
And so I think I don't know actually, but it's gorgeous. I hope he owns it. It's got 4 parking spots.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and it's over in North Hollywood, and it's he's got this beautiful edit bay. He's got a team that works with him, and so
it's completely contained though. So
yes.
there's no, but I mean it's like 4 walls. There's no outside air coming in.
Well, what he told me was that they essentially they bombed it. They disinfected it the way that Taiwan is doing it with their studios. He told me what it was, but it was
it's an ongoing filtration system.
Well, what they do is they shoot, they have a show, and then they spend like three days later, a team comes in, wipes it down to the base, and then they set off like a bleach bomb or whatever damn thing to clean everything, and then they do another one next month. So they let it. There's time, there's cleanliness, and there's.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
when
In the moment, are you talking
in
about?
the moment when it's airborne, that's the big problem. The moment that's the thing with what I think airplanes are doing is they're recycling the entire cabin every 3 minutes. So
Okay.
I think if you can, I would think it's much safer to be indoors when you're in that kind of a filtration system.
Okay, I don't know what the filtration system is.
Yeah,
I know that
because cleaning it doesn't really,
well, I know that
too
staff
much.
and audience, and there's probably 16 people, including staff and audience,
Mm-hmm.
in the room, and everybody kept their masks on through the show,
Good.
and except me, I was up at and he sprayed down the mic and everything right
Mm-hmm.
before he introduced me, sprayed everything down, and then
Mm-hmm.
I went up. So, um,
Is there plexiglass between you and the audience?
there's no
Okay.
plexiglass, and but they are more than 3 feet away. They're probably 6 feet away. You know how you do a room, and it was a really cool experience in the way that
Mm-hmm.
when you do stand up in front of real people, there's just a relief to it,
I know.
right?
I know.
Compared to now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the the it was a delight to be able to test that timing
Yes.
and just sort of sit in the laughs. And he
Mm-hmm.
pushed it to Zoom. I get paid on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Greg Barrett and him. Greg did
Oh my
30.
God. How
Yeah.
fun. I
Yeah.
love
And
Greg
I did
Barrett.
45. And Chris himself just hosted it, did about 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to see any because I accidentally double booked it. I had to do a show with Jared Logan from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
which I left and it was a gaming session, so because Jared runs this tabletop gaming thing, and so at 7:40, I was like, I gotta go. I'm on stage in 5, and
Wait, so Greg and Chris were on stage while you were playing the
yeah,
game? Okay.
yes, and
Classic.
Chris popped in and he goes, he's at 30. He's got another 5 minutes. But the thing about Titus is that he set me up in one of the offices with the fastest Wi-Fi I've seen since lockdown. And so I played the game and it was uh yeah, it was Guy Branum, myself, and Becca O'Neill, I think. Not O'Neill, but Becca, forgetting her last name.
That sounds right.
Becca O'Neill's a Chicago comic. This woman's name is Becca, but it's not O'Neill.
Okay.
She's a gamer and she's got a Twitch channel. She's very successful.
Mm-hmm.
But so we played this game and Jared Logan hosted it, but it was cool that I was able to set up entirely there at 5:45 to do the sound check and everything for the Stream of Blood game that I played, and then at 7:45, 2 hours later, I was able to bail and walk on stage and do 40, and I did 45.
Love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
And I dropped some of the lines, but it was just, and I have this cold, and so I was sort of a little woozy and stuff because the meds are working okay, but for some reason the headache is lingering.
Mm-hmm.
But the timing was, I mean, it was what we knew it was going to happen. The timing is slightly different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get to see the video of it too. And
that's neat.
Yeah.
And how many cameras?
3 cameras.
So they used all 3 cameras, so it's like
they switched it and they pushed it to Zoom or whatever.
In theory, you could use that to make a special for sure.
Right, and Rachel, who's comic, she and his partner offered that if Minneapolis falls through, that we could figure something out because they could fit 22 people in that room, but safely. At distance.
Are they tested? The audience isn't tested, right?
I don't think so. I think that they're fever tested, but that's it.
Okay.
But Barbara was there, Holiday.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, she came to the show. Yeah.
Cool.
And Chris is like he wants you to come and do a show.
I'd love to.
And of course you'd love to. Yeah. And I
might wear a mask during my set.
Yeah. Well, if you Yeah, or get plexiglass or some damn thing. I mean, there might be something more to it.
I yeah, but I mean, also like, so do you think COVID? It's so fucking strong. You think it gives up when it runs into plexiglass, or do a couple of the aerosols go, "Hey, let's climb, let's climb and go over the top"? You know,
That's
it's like
right.
the trenches in World War I. Some of them might be ambitious, and come get me.
You don't know. You don't know. It's yeah, there's I don't yeah, you could find out about the ventilation, you could find out about all that stuff. It's but my masks came from Custom Ink, which is where we get the notebooks from.
Awesome! I'm so
And
excited.
yeah, and so I gave them out to the audience, or I left the staff put them on everybody's table.
Were they all
And
wearing
so
them?
some of them were wearing them, some of them kept their own masks on, but everybody took them. And
People can double mask. That's fine. And in fact, I do it all the time when I leave the house.
yeah,
So
yeah.
unless I'm outdoors, but I double up in any indoor situation.
You know, when you go to the store and stuff.
Yeah, you have your real mask and then you have your joke mask on top, your message mask.
Yeah, I did buy a package of the 10 disposables.
Yeah.
Because that felt that'll be that there's good coverage on those disposables, but they're light. So
Yeah.
So they're probably good underneath the so when I fly in December, because Milwaukee, it might be canceled. They've had to close.
Right.
Because Greg got COVID, the guy who owns it.
Right.
And one of the owners.
And Wisconsin's being overrun at the moment.
And
well,
Wisconsin,
I mean, the entire Midwest. It's not.
There's
it's
trouble.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
I had one of my neighbors is on Reno 911, a friend of mine, and he just got back from a bubble. They were all they all stayed in a hotel together. The entire show cast crew had a hotel. They just blocked it off, and they were there for maybe like a couple weeks, just banging out a bunch of Reno 911s. Quibi fell apart. Quibi went bankrupt or went under during the shooting, but I guess Viacom owns Reno 911, so they might find another home for it. But they kept going. So.
Oh, okay. I got my hair cut on Tuesday, and so it was 3 hours of wearing a mask. And I did a brunch Covidian outdoor lunch at the Hugo's over in West Hollywood, where they made me sign for contact tracing.
Good.
Yeah, they were like, just leave your name and telephone number, and just in case, and if you get sick, call us so that we know. And but my hairdresser works on The Rookie.
Oh yeah.
With Nathan Fillion, and so he gets tested 3 times a week. And wears a mask 12 hours a day. But he has 2 little kids. Yeah.
Are they in a bubble too, or does he go home? He must go home at night, right?
He's got to go home at night. Yeah. And he's got a nanny who is not live-in.
Then shouldn't he get tested every day then before work?
Yeah, I don't know. But
it's turnaround one. I mean,
it's a every other day is, and he's cutting hair.
Nathan Fillion?
No, my hairdresser.
Okay.
Nathan Fillion's not. Nathan Fillion's, I think he might have bought land as well. I'm hoping.
Jackie, multiple streams of revenue. That's our
I can't.
Key.
Oh my God, I'm exhausted by multiple streams. I'm just like, I know that things are fine.
Yeah.
But I'm literally, I feel like I'm in an emotional plateau when I'm like, does it matter? Yes, it does, of course. And it'll be fine.
In this election cycle since January have spent what will be 10% of my total income on ActBlue.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I gotta fucking stop this, because it's so easy to click. You're like, all right,
right,
I'll do 20, and then you're there, you're like, I'll do 50 or whatever.
Right.
Like you
or
keep
I'll do
upping
20
it.
per client. Or
per
campaign.
month, right?
Yeah.
And it's so easy, and they have all your information. It's 2 clicks. You get a big thank you. You fucking get the link to tell everyone on Twitter what you did. Yep. I mean, they have it set up, but I was like, this is mind-boggling. I can't. Right. They're not my agent.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, let me see. Like, I'll look and see because how do you know? Is it
You just go to your page and I mean, they make you work for the cumulative total. They don't want you to know either because I think we're all so easily clicking, those 25s add up,
Oh my God,
Doesn't
yeah.
seem like much once, but then you do it every day for a while, and every race seems so fucking important. And I mean, they all are important.
Yeah.
These states
Yeah.
I've never been to, I'm fucking sending $100 to a city council member,
Right,
whatever. I don't know.
Some loose dude.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's nuts. Did you while I figure this out, do you want to tell me if you did you do any
I have
sets?
something to tell you. No, I did sets, but I had my friend Cheryl over. My son turned 14 on Tuesday.
Oh, well, that's cool. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, young man.
So I wrapped your gift, and he really
Nice.
liked it.
Oh, good.
Yes. So he turned 14, and then my friend Cheryl came over. We've been going to her house to watch anime outdoors.
Okay.
And she wanted to switch it up. So I had her in the garage, opened up the garage door, opened up all the doors. So we got a lot of cross breeze. And then I surrounded her with two air purifiers on the left and the right side.
Yeah.
So that, anything coming her way towards her head will immediately be sucked in.
Right.
And then my son and I were on either side of her, but, 6 feet apart wearing masks. So that was how we hung out with one friend who wasn't a family member. And hopefully that wasn't a horrendous decision, but I felt like it was pretty safe.
Yeah. So.
And we are catching her up on Attack on Titan because the final season comes out in December and my son is so excited for it. So hopefully she'll be all caught up so we can all jump in together. He and I are rewatching with her the original series, the original 2 seasons.
Okay, so I have not donated as much as you did. And that Titan show, I had to stop watching it like 6 or 7 episodes in because it was too dark. It's super creepy. It's just too many people biting other people in half. It was a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. Well, toughen up, Jackie. Guess what? We might be headed to if November 3rd goes the wrong way, that's going to be our future, is people eating us.
Right. Well, and it's and the good news is I can handle it in real life. I just don't need it added on. Like when I left for the show yesterday, I put in the scary movie that somebody lent Andy 1,000 generations ago. That I'm like, yeah, you can watch it anytime you want. Just tell me when to leave the house. And it isn't even that scary. It was The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a horror movie from, I think it's not even the original. I can't even remember, but he said it was really good. I watched Abbott and Costello meet Dr. Jekyll with Boris Karloff, and it was hilarious and delightful, as Abbott and Costello meeting everyone is always. Yes.
I guess I haven't watched any Abbott and Costello or enough to
remember. Did you, when you were a kid, because I was Abbott and Costello instead of Laurel and Hardy. I was always Marx Brothers more than Chaplin.
I already thought that you were talking about Laurel and Hardy.
Oh.
And how did the Three Stooges fit into this? To me, it was all black and white men punching each other. Black and white comedy starring men hitting each other in the eye.
Marx Brothers over the Three Stooges.
Oh my God.
Costello over Laurel and Hardy for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Just because the writing was slightly better, and physical comedy is fine. Yeah, I like it actually better now than I've ever liked it.
Yes,
but
it's a relief. I don't have to think; I can just watch. Yes,
right. Which is what I think people were. That's what it's always drawn people to it.
Yeah.
So hilarious. But yeah, but Andy doesn't like he doesn't like the road movies, which is Bing Crosby and Bob Hope.
I remember loving those when I was a kid.
I liked it when I was a kid. There's a bit of a sad part of it in the fact that those two banana heads stole everybody's act and put them in
Right.
Bob Hope Bing Crosby. They
Of
stole
course
everybody's
they did.
vaudeville act. Right.
Right. And also, Bob Hope was, a
Gross. Yeah.
serial harasser at minimum.
At
Then
minimum.
Bing Crosby beat the shit out of his children. So,
Yeah, but just his kids.
but if you could just, no, the wife too. But if you could put all that aside, you really might enjoy those films.
Sure. It's it's hard to like any of those guys then. You're gonna try to like Sinatra. And
Don't ruin Sinatra for me. You know what? I think we should all get one old white guy that you can't ruin.
that you don't give up.
I'll give up Sean Connery in a second, but please let me have Frank Sinatra. Please.
Oh. Yeah, Sean Connery died. A career cut tragically short. No, guy's like 100 years old.
No, but I mean, he hit his wife and he kind of bragged about it. And
yeah.
Only, I think, when there's a lot of pressure from studios did he say, "Oh, I'm against hitting women now."
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do another one with you. He was, he's a great actor and very charismatic, and
sure.
I don't want to even say of his time, because my uncle would have been his age and also was not, like that. So.
Yeah, my dad is 83 and he's not a hitter.
Yeah.
He's it's all emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And so it's all, hey, why don't you get your shit together? And you're just like, all right, I'm 11.
You know what?
So
I tweeted today, like I keep Steve Byrne, a lot of his clips are popping up. He's very funny, right? But he always has his name in lights behind him, and I've seen like three different specials with different Steve Byrnes behind him. And I was like, that's cool. But what if you just put someone else's name behind you and didn't even reference it? And so then I tweeted it just sort of jokingly, but then during yoga, I was like, maybe I should do that. Auction off the rights to have your name behind me. We'll get it in neon. You have to pay for it. During a bit, you can't choose the bit. You might not like the bit, but that's it. It's your bit. And then it goes away and someone else's comes up and I get to talking about something else.
Wow, a little bit of billboarding going on. When I did my half-hour special in Comedy Central, I insisted on having a mailbox with my name on it. Because nobody ever remembers. The reason he does it is because nobody remembers comics' names.
Of course. Oh, I understand why it's done. It's like, I just thought it would be kind of fun to not do that. Do it differently. Yeah.
Right, to do somebody else's name.
Why did your name change to Amy in the middle of the show?
If only if you do the 3 women comics who work all the time. Could you just put Whitney Cummings, Eliza Schlesinger, and Nikki Glazer's names just stacked behind you at all times?
Sure, then it'll get bought by a streaming service. we fucking cracked the code. We cracked it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I have to say that is very. So we're doing tonight. Will be the first time we're doing 2 Comic of the Week shows.
Yes.
Because there's so many comics of the week, we might as well.
We could have spread it out. We just started throwing together names for the next one, and I said we should do 2 jokingly, and then all of a sudden I'm getting the Flappers email.
Right. Hey, we're doing 2.
Did
you know?
Yeah.
Did you know that we're doing 2? I can host. By the way, I'm fine. It's because you've hosted the last. You'd host not this last one. We got somebody to host, but the one before that, you hosted that one, so I can host these.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's fine. And
we have great lineups. I don't have.
Yeah, the
I
first
don't know
one
off the top of my head.
Janelle James, Mary Lynn Ricecup, and Aaron Foley, and then maybe a surprise guest. And then the second one, the 8 p.m. The 6 p.m. is those 3, and then the 8 p.m. is Jackie Fab, Maggie May, Robin Tran, and Brandy Brown.
Oh man, that's
right.
You can go to both shows.
Yeah, are you gonna do 2 different 10s?
Yeah, I could do two different 10s. Yes.
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, so everybody, and and Flappers could use the cash. I mean, what they're doing for money right now is they're feeding senior citizens.
I know.
They're a restaurant who's delivering pre-cooked meals to seniors.
The longer we stay in comedy, aren't our goals just to feed a senior citizen ourselves? I mean, that's really the end game, is to keep feeding your old self.
Well, I think this was the year that we could have moved into assisted living.
Really, it is totally 55
Yeah.
and over. Yes,
Yeah.
I could live in Rossmore in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, which is really a nice part of like right near Lafayette and Walnut Creek.
I have a friend of mine who lives with her mom in an assisted living. They share a one bedroom.
Oh my God.
That and she's working from home.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, how's that coming along? It's
Well, Erin's doing that too, Erin Foley. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear about it in the 6 p.m. show, but she's living in with her wife in her mother-in-law's senior living center in Florida, I think, which is not what I expected from Erin Foley in her life.
No. And
I didn't see her moving to Florida, but that's okay. The pandemic has upended all of our lives.
Right. There are many things that are
living in states we either never wanted to work or fled, right? As soon as we could. Yeah. There
is work.
One of my neighbors has already done some of the legwork in figuring out how to move to Canada if necessary.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Like there's a normal process, but there's also a one where you can pay like $17,000 or something. And
yeah, I mean the thing is the poor. I'm not poor. The thing is but I don't have 17 grand to bribe some country into allowing me to move there. So it'll just be more rich people running, I guess. But it's
well, that's not the attitude I want to have at the Luxembourg Comedy Club, Jackie, when I book you.
Will you please book? Yeah, exactly. You're going to be wanting, that's very funny.
Jackie, you're very distracted. Well, again.
I wrote down things to talk about, and then I was like, I ran out of things to talk about. So I was like, do I have any sets this week? And I do. I have a weird Twitch show on Wednesday.
Okay.
And then, we have to. Andy's looking forward to every other year we do a different Christmas tree. We do a live tree, and then we do a fake tree.
Right.
And this is fake tree year, but our fake tree, we bought the fake tree 15 years ago, and it's dodgy now. Which it's
in bad shape.
It's in
a
bad
Charlie
shape.
Brown tree now.
Well, and my whole thing about the fake tree was it's got to be green. It can look super fake, but it's got to be green. And so our fake tree is just spokes of lights, and then we just hang stuff on it.
Right.
He's thinking that there was a rainbow tree. That,
no.
And I was like, not white, I recorded 2 episodes in the last couple of weeks of Dork Forest about the Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah.
One with my brother Russ and one with Jen Kirkman. I did that one yesterday. And Jen turned me on to fake trees at something called Balsam Hill fake tree company, whatever.
Yeah.
And the one that Andy liked that was rainbow colored, I think it was $1,600.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
no.
How about I'm willing to spend $300. That's 3 years worth of trees.
Just go to the DIY center. Go to a local Ace Hardware or something and get a little tree.
Okay, because I would get a real tree every year because pines grow like weeds. But he wants to do fake tree. Okay. And what do you do?
I will do a real tree this year because we'll be here, you know. And I didn't for the longest time. I'm like, oh, it's just me and my kid. I'm not going to do a big tree, and it didn't feel like big Christmas. So last year I got a big tree, you know. Thank God, my mom's last Christmas, she had a big tree.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And it was pretty. Yeah. You know, we don't have the same, I didn't carry over a lot of the same traditions that I grew up with about like making ornaments and all that kind. I just couldn't, it's just not me.
It's not your jam, really, but you did have a big tree and you decorated it. So
I got lights. I put all the lights up all over the front of the house. It's it looks awesome, and I love lights. I love lights outside. Yeah, like year round. Yeah, I got a giant wreath to put on this new piece of fence that William put up,
Yep.
So I want to decorate. I want to cheer people up when they go on a walk, cheer
Yep.
myself up when I'm looking out the window.
Yep. That's it entirely. Andy did a really nice job with ghosts and tiki stuff, and so
Cool.
because it's usually the day after Halloween he goes to the stores and buys whatever's left.
Oh, smart.
But today he had to teach this morning, so he couldn't do it. Weird Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 5 or 6 kids for Halloween. And
Yeah, we had probably 10. We usually get about 110. And how did you do it?
I grabbed a handful of candy from a bag of candy, and I put it in a paper bag, and I stapled it shut, and I wrote "boo" on the bag, and then I put it on a little table that I put out front so that they couldn't get, no one could get close to me, and I couldn't get close to them, and so I just hung out on the porch with my kid, and then every once in a while somebody would come up, and then I went inside around 9 o'clock, and my dog started barking intensely, and I think that's when someone came up and just grabbed all the remaining bags. But I was fine.
Good.
Some teenagers, yeah.
I wish they would have grabbed all of ours, because he thought there's not going to be more than 30 or 50 kids, so we put together 50 bags, and he bought little bags that have like pumpkins and stuff on them, and each bag had like a spider ring and a paper airplane, like a foam airplane, and then we got gummy fangs and gummy bugs from.
So he individually created all of these bags?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He fucking
So
loves
sweet.
Halloween. He loves Halloween with the power of the sun, and it's his favorite one. And this is the first year that we're really home for it, which is too bad because it was truncated. And then two they had a band. Like one of our neighbors, two houses over, had a band. And,
really?
Yeah. And then there was a big drumming circle. So I didn't know we lived next to hippies, but we lived next to hippies who have drumming circles. And they had their kids, and so they brought like every hour or so, I guess like 5 kids would come over and he'd give. And there was only maybe 10 or 15 kids came.
That's cool. So, should we break for a sec?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
48 on that.
And let's do Comic of the Week. Comic of the Week, who I watched her clip. She's good friends with everybody that we know, and it's Monica Nevi. And I was watching, very funny.
Where's she from? Is she from Seattle?
I think, that sounds. You've asked me something that I sadly do not know offhand.
Okay.
But Monica Nevi, MonicaNevi, and I watched a couple of clips. Clips were very funny. She had a joke about ghosts, actually, so that kind of made me go, well, let's put her up this week. It's Halloween.
Heck yeah.
And, yeah, it was really funny. And so find Monica Nevi and give her some work if you can.
And she is a Seattle comic.
And she is a Seattle comic. Good to know.
Fucking knew it.
Well played.
I'm gonna coast on this victory for the rest of the podcast.
Good.
Coast off of it. I am doing Flappers this Thursday. Am I doing Thursday, Friday? Thursday, Friday. I'm doing sets at the Pickwick Bowl.
Oh, there you go. You're gonna do live.
Outdoor place to perform, and Flappers finally was able to get it together. I guess it's really hard to get permits, and all that stuff, and everyone's trying to figure out how other venues are doing it, and you've got
Some of
different
it's
city councils, and no one's doing the same things. It's really frustrating, but I guess they secured that finally, so I'm excited. That'll be 2 outdoor shows this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna do you're doing 2 nights at Pickwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm this cold is holding on. Like I've had this cold for over a week, and so I've slept more this week than I have in an age, and so I'm just trying to get better. Even though I'm gonna do a Sunday services show today, because I did a show with Paige Weldon, and I was like, oh, I want to see what else what else is she working on? Because she was hilarious.
She's so funny.
She's so funny.
Is she writing on a show right now? Or
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and Atsuko is going to do a set, and then Ron Funches. So they're the three of them. It's a hell of a lineup and then I'm going to work on the 20 that I didn't do last night because it was pretty great. I dropped a couple of lines, but I was like first time in front of people again.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous. I was excited. I was excitable. And
one thing I've noticed, like I have jokes about my mom dying, obviously. And what I remember from my dad working out that material, it was really important, the order of the jokes, when that information was introduced, what material I'd done ahead of time, all that kind of stuff. And so for like one set of audience here on Zoom, they all know about me, right? Yep. They know me, they know that. And then there's other people that are like, oh my God. And then I realized, oh no, I need like to spend a minute with these people before I start talking about it. And so that's another thing that's a problem that can be solved on stage because you're performing in front of people that don't know it, and you can figure out, how much material do I have to do ahead of time to get everyone comfortable with me? And then how do I slowly acclimate them to the fact that this thing happened and I'm going to be joking about it and it's okay. And that is very, if not impossible to figure out properly on Zoom. So
it is really hard to do on Zoom because most of those people do know where you're coming from. And did I tell you? I think I did tell you, but so my murder hornet joke, I only have 6 weeks before I record. So and I want to do the murder hornet joke on the new album, but I don't have all of the punchlines, and it will take me, because the way I write, it'll take me a year to get all that stuff. So essentially, I emailed Mike Lawrence, who tagged a joke I did on Conan. He tagged remember that Native American fast food, frozen food joke? Mm-hmm. He was the one, when I was working on that joke, comics were coming up to me all the time after the set with like, I got one, many of them racist. Ooh, shucks. Stop.
I'm not going in that direction. Thanks, though.
Slow your roll, buddy. Slow your roll. But because they're all puns, and they're all based on different Native American tropes and all these things that we do. And Mike Lawrence came up with a couple, and the one that I used was Sacagaweeties. It was a Wheaties and a Sacagawea together. Very funny. Whatever. Yeah. So I was like, he'll have murder hornet puns, not puns, but like wordplay. Mm-hmm. And he wrote me 8.
Oh my God.
So many that now I have to memorize. And I think I'm going to use like 5 or 6 of them. And then I sent him some money, and he was like, no, it was really fun for me. And I was like, oh my God, this is, because I was like, would you be willing to do this? And he just banged him out. Have you ever seen Mike Lawrence? Like, I've seen Mike Lawrence only in clips do roast
battles. Yeah.
Yeah. He's incredibly good at roast battles. Yeah. But he was supposed to do boast rattle. That Kyle Ayers, where you're supposed to boast about one of the other comics instead of roast them. Yeah. And we didn't get to do the show, but he was like, "Is it like this?" And he riffed like 3 of the nicest, twistiest fucking jokes I've ever seen. I was like, "This guy's brain is awesome." Wow. This guy. So Mike Lawrence is a delight. Yeah. And
is he in New York right now?
I believe he's a New York guy right now.
Is he doing Zoom shows and stuff?
I don't know.
Some people I haven't seen their names pop up on lineups, but that doesn't mean maybe they're just not coming up on my feed.
Right, there's so many. And I also saw, I was on Instagram and I saw that there's some backyard shows happening in LA. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that doesn't look, I don't know what I think about that.
I'm telling you, we got to figure this out because we can do it safely here.
In your backyard, yeah,
Yes.
because your yard's.
There's like little nooks and crannies where people can be away from each other, like different little sets of audience members. They wouldn't be together.
Yeah.
You'd have a table, a 4 right outside this little alley over here. Not an alley, but this little area, and then another table of 2. Maybe it's just 2. But you have to be living together. You have to be
You got to
podding
be
together.
in your own pod. Yeah.
Yes, and they'll be away from the comedians.
Which is
And the
is
comedians
what.
can sit in their cars if they want to, and then just run in when it's their turn.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you end up talking to people about getting a sound system and maybe doing it? Because I'll help. Obviously.
Yeah, no, Kyle was
I'm doing some research finding like the right setup because they either go really big or are just one speaker. I'm trying to find something that matches their setup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Because you like the idea of little sort of individual ones, right?
Yeah,
or something?
just tables of 2, and then each table gets its own monitor, so the comic doesn't even have to shout, you can just talk regularly. You'll have a monitor so you can hear yourself.
I'm excited to see, and it's available. I don't know. I think it's available until what'll be tonight to watch this Titus show if you go to the Eventbrite.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 48 hours where you can still watch it. I'm actually looking forward to hearing it and seeing it because he said that they were taking the audience, they'd mic the audience and had mixed it.
Oh, nice.
So the laughs are real, but they're made closer together.
Oh, that's great.
So they're just tighter, I think. And so that's kind of I'm interested. I am curious on how that sounds. So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I just it's weird to think this much about the stand-up because I'm just like and with the world kind of blowing up in Minneapolis and Wisconsin and everywhere, I'm just like, well, am I really going to go? But I guess I'll find out. It's supposedly December 2nd is my show in Loveland. It is currently November 1st. It'll be November 2nd when this drops. So I should probably get an airplane ticket, huh? Don't you think?
I think they're 100% refundable, right? Right now.
Okay. Well, and I'm gonna do it with
Southwest
all of my
always
points.
Is. Yeah.
Right, Southwest always is. I'm doing first class on Delta.
Oh, that's right. You're all up in Delta's ass. So I don't know, why am I even talking to you?
And I'm using
Southwest. Southwest isn't necessarily refundable, but you can use the whole thing for another Southwest ticket. So
yeah. They credit it.
Travel
easy.
bank it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't ding
easy
you at
peasy. Yeah. There's nothing.
But I did a set. I forget which one recently, a Zoom one, where I just was like, all right, just slow down.
Yeah.
Slow
Talking too
down.
fast.
Yeah. And that really helped, again, like the timing's so fucking off and now most people are muting themselves because they do have shit going on in their house. So you're half the time you're doing sets to like 2 people. And one of them's the poor host who's trapped like a rat having to watch your show.
You work on your set. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has been super fun to see like when it branches out and you can see all the different comics. Like I'm excited about tonight's show because I haven't seen Brandy Brown in probably 6 months or Janelle. Mary Lynn's got this great bit that she worked on. She opened for me on the Sunday services, and she's got this. She went on a Tinder date.
Oh, I know, that was awesome. Yeah,
that was.
Want to hear about that.
I want to hear how that's tightened up because I think she's
Tinder
done other
COVID
sets.
date, yeah.
Tinder COVID date that was supposed to be this romantic picnic, and the guy just was weird, and so it's always. And fabulous. Robin Tran.
J-Fab.
These are J-Fab.
So, Robin Tran's also a great roast battle comic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, she's like a beast. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Maggie May, always just
great.
a hammer. The woman's a hammer. So.
Yeah, no, you'll tune in tonight. There's good shows aplenty, and of course you're always helping comics earn a little extra money on the side.
Yeah.
On
helping
the side
the comics, helping the club, helping on the side of absolutely no money.
Yes.
So So thank you very much. We genuinely appreciate it. And yeah, other than that,
You
my
guys want to take
garden's
a
almost
second
done.
break?
Oh, you take that second break. It's quite a casual episode where we're just kind of like, what's happening, you guys?
Yeah. How much time
We
have
got
we...
about 15, 20 minutes left.
Ugh, I don't have it. I don't even know what to say.
I like calling the show I don't have it. We could talk about that.
We're doing shows again. We started taping shows for Conan again.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's hard to like, we're trying to like come up with ideas for after the election, but it's really hard to. So many things could go wrong. So many things could happen, right?
Right.
There could be definitive wins either way, or there could be a definitive win that's contested either way, and there could be a non-definitive win where it's
hard to write jokes for that.
It's hard to come up with sketches for sure. We're like, we're complete. Brian and I are, we're the monologue team, but at the moment there's no audience, so there's no point in really doing a monologue. It's like watching. You ever watch like? I think you tweet about this. Someone did. Like watching like The Big Bang Theory or something where they take the laugh track out and it's just chilling. Yeah. Oof. Any sitcom without the laugh track is really disturbing.
Yeah.
And I would say a monologue without an audience is also disturbing.
Well, it's certainly like you're just running lines then, right? So
yeah, and part of a late night monologue is it's the host kind of like connecting with the audience. Like almost the jokes don't matter. They're just like little tools to give you a reason to talk to people or a reason to comment on people. It's more of a personality. It's the only time, Kylie said this before, but it's the only time that the audience has one-on-one time with Conan. Or just, I'm sure, with all shows with the host. And the rest of the time, they're doing comedy or they're talking to guests that no one gives a shit about. Or some people do give a shit about. I don't really know. But so that's the only, if they're excited to see Conan, then, the only time they really get to spend with him where he's going to be paying more attention to them than anyone else is the monologue. So, right now that's not happening. So we're, like, because you're to convert to sketch, which is a different kind of comedy writing completely. Yeah. Whatever.
And he's taping them at Largo, right?
Yeah. Still at Largo, still in front of, hundreds of cardboard cutouts.
Right.
And it's pretty funny looking.
Yeah, that's funny and fun. But you don't go to the recordings, do you? Do you go to the tapings?
I haven't seen him since like early March. Wow. So I haven't seen any of the writers. They have a very minimal crew, the head writer and a couple of production people and camera people at Largo, but they're all tested all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ellen, who shoots on our lot, is doing shows for 40 live audience members now. So wow. I don't know. I mean, it's Ellen. She's got so much money. They can maybe do like a rapid turnaround test for all 40 every single day or something.
Right. Maybe that's the.
But what are you keeping each audience member isolated? They do the so that means you need 40 different spaces.
What?
I have no idea.
Yeah, how they're doing it.
So fucking expensive to get a live crowd in there, Right. But with her recent troubles with
maybe it's worth the money.
PR, it might be worth the money. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She took a lot of shit for coming out and not, that doesn't excuse horrible behavior, but
tolerating. But the thing is we've all tolerated. I mean, let me speak for myself. I have sat there while people have said shit things.
Yes, me too.
And so I was watching Endeavour the other night, which is this British constabulary, this cop show. Oh, okay. And there was this. It takes place in 1968, and so there's civil unrest in Oxford, England, and there are comments by racist people, and it is glaring. It is one of the great things about the show is that we get to watch from afar is someone just tolerating it. Just sort of make, like our heroes twist their mouths up. They go, this type of thing. Right. But nobody goes, hey, fuckwit, stop it. Nobody ever stands up. And so I traditionally, I'm 55 years old. I've done that 30 years ago where I'm like, come on. And that's all I've said.
Right.
Instead of more confrontational, you're being a horrible person. And those days are done. I mean, I think I'm not happy to say it because I don't want to have a confrontation with anyone, but it's so interesting that Ellen, the fact that she's our age,
She's older than us. Jackie, she's older than us. She's like 62.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she also doesn't present as 62,
Yeah.
She kind of seems just like your 45-year-old aunt that's always, jumping around, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, she's
62. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just, I just, I don't want to give her excuses, but I feel like you can't understand what it's like to get the amount of death threats she got for the amount of time she got. It just must make you so crazy that there's no going back, and there's no,
right. She had to fight on several fronts, and the one that she was fighting was the one that she was living in. That's the box that she had to address every day, I think.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, so she's got a crowd.
Yep, she's got a crowd.
You and I don't. She's got a crowd.
Did you? Was it you who reposted? Because there was a transcript of Kindler's State of the Industry. Did you end up watching the State of the? I only saw clips.
Some of it. Yeah. I saw some
But
clips.
I liked what he said about Rogan.
That he was.
What was the?
It was something like something. It was Rogan and Trump and stupid.
Oh, that's
people
right. The stupidest guy who's ever made $100 million. Yes, and I was like, oh, that was, and it was classic Kindler. Well done. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've come to realize there's a certain comics that I don't understand, and I never will. And me trying to bend into certain directions and go, well, maybe they meant this. Like no one bends that way for me. No one even thinks about me. So why? I think if you maintain a friendship with a guy who terrorized the parents of kids that were murdered and caused them to go into hiding. You're at minimum, you're stupid.
Right. At minimum, you're stupid, and I don't have to want to hang out with you anymore. And I don't want to
have to want to be on your podcast or try to be in your group of cool friends because something's wrong there. It's just gross.
Yeah. You're broken, and I can't, and you're not fixing yourself. So, so here's the good news about the set I did last night. I did the dad chunk that I've been working on that literally it started 4 years ago, that bit.
Right.
Where I couldn't get the right angle. And so last night I just did it at the Titus show and didn't have any problem. It could be, the timing wasn't ideal because it was the first time in front of a live audience, but live action. But on the whole, when I got off stage, it was the one thing that I thought I did the whole dad chunk, with the hospital thing and the whole never say no without a number part. And I was like, and I didn't in my head, sometimes when I've been working on that bit, I've been apologizing in my head that it isn't tighter, that it isn't funnier, that there aren't more punchlines. I think it's tight enough now, and there's enough beats to it that make it interesting and funny that I did not feel apologetic to it. So I was kind of psyched about that.
That's cool. I was thinking, I bet you could, if you were to shoot a special in this Titus situation, right? If the audience got tested right?
Yeah.
You would be spending, say, if you had 40 people, that's like $5,000 to test people, right?
Yeah.
Because it's $125 to get a speed test in Studio City.
Okay.
Like when you find out for an hour, in an hour. Who knows how much it will cost to bring it all? Maybe it'd be more or less.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
say you included that in your budget, and you get those people to, those people to promise to quarantine, for say 3 or 4 days before they get the negative test, right?
Right.
If they test negative.
Yeah.
Could that be a special with masks off in an enclosed location that would actually sound like a comedy show? Did you feel like that because they were wearing masks, did you sense that? Could you tell? Did it
muffle the laughs?
Yes.
A little bit, but it was kind of it was like I could hear them fucking laugh.
Yeah.
It was
right.
I was like, ha! And I was like, that's that. And this sounds lame, but that's mine. I fucking earned that.
Yes, of course.
And yeah, and so, but it was a delight. It was a joy, and I was psyched. I was like, I was tearing up a little bit just because it was like it fucking felt like stand up. It felt, and it's not that Zoom doesn't do what it does, right? And it's not that outside with clappers in a car and this type of thing, it isn't stand up. That's all stand up, right? But this is just the experience that I was raised with. This is the experience that that makes me feel whole, even though it should not.
Well,
right? I should have a whole life, but it's part of my goddamn DNA now.
Yes, and whenever we were all at one point comics sitting in the audience of a stand-up show, watching somebody kill and go, that's what I want, right?
And it just,
we weren't sitting in a car honking, going, that's what I want.
True that. That is very true. I feel like we're close, Kyle. How do you feel?
We very much are. I think we're well within range, if we want to call this.
Well, how much?
3 minutes.
You got a tale of anything for the upcoming? Did you write a new joke, Laurie? I was looking to see if I wrote one.
You don't have to shame me for something like that.
It was the disappointment when I said 3 minutes.
It was a little bit of that. It's
No, maybe I have a new tag or something. I definitely need to look at my set. I'm doing a show tonight that's more of it's not stand-up, it's it's got the word bitch in it, like bitchosaurus or bitcherini. Hold on. Bitch.
Oh, it's Italians.
Bitchuation room.
They belong in the penitentiary.
Oh.
They use a pun, go to prison.
All right, I think we're good.
Yeah.